Engineering work is organized in different ways. You should understand these differences for two reasons. First, the nature of the experience you get is influenced by how the engineering work is organized. Secondly, the organizational context you come out of or are interested in working in as an engineer will give you a better understanding of what is meant by experience. Knowing these differences can help you to determine if you have the experience and qualifications required. We're going to take a look at three types of organizational structures. Organizations typically won't describe their organizational structure in a job posting, or they may even use different terms to describe it. The point of this exercise is to help you recognize how different companies are structured from within by picking up on keywords or phrases found in the job posting. If you can identify how they're structured, you'll be able to describe your own experience even when you move from one type of organizational structure to another.
In what we call the traditional organizational structure, engineers are organized into areas of specialization. You're directly accountable to your immediate superior, who will assign work to you. How your superior judges your work performance is critical to career success, such as having a better chance of staying on with the company, receiving bonuses, and getting promoted. In a traditional organizational structure, it is typically inappropriate to discuss with your superior how an assignment is to be done. You'll have the same relationship with technicians and technologists, both of whom are typically subordinate to you. In some cases, you'll be working in a traditional organization where you can develop innovative technical solutions. But in most cases, you'll be sending issues off to someone else, or you'll be implementing a technical strategy that was established elsewhere. Avoiding errors is often more important than finding original solutions. In a traditional organizational structure, you'll have a stronger awareness of policies, approved processes, and standards that the company established. These companies will want you to be loyal to them and to the superiors under which you work. There's an emphasis on clearly defined roles, which means everyone knows exactly what they're expected to do on any given project and to whom they're expected to report.
So, how would you define experience in this type of organizational structure? Would you describe your experience based on your role in the organization, the person to whom you reported, the kind of work the organization is involved in? Perhaps you'll want to describe your area of specialty at the organization. If you answered yes to any of these questions, you're not alone. This is the way many engineers that work in a traditional organizational structure describe their experience. This understanding of what is meant by experience is often different from the way experience is understood by engineers who've worked in team organizational structures. In a team organizational structure, there's a team leader or manager whose role it is to motivate the team and coordinate tasks, and the members of the team who each contribute equally to a project despite the possibility that there may be great differences in the experience and educational qualifications between them. In this type of organizational structure, you'll feel more responsible and accountable to your team. Unlike the traditional structure, you're encouraged to develop whatever specialized skills are required to solve the challenges at hand, even if those skills are initially outside your area of expertise. As a result, your employer comes to appreciate your adaptability as much as your area of specialization. Engineers with a team organizational structure background are more likely to describe their experience in highly concrete terms, which incidentally is what many Canadian engineering recruiters are looking for. When talking about your experience, you might discuss specific projects that were assigned to your team and then elaborate on the various contributions you made to the team project. You'll likely have no problem describing how you handled differences of opinion within your team, while a person who has worked in a traditional organization will likely struggle to do this. Engineering recruiters from team organizational structures greatly emphasize soft skills, which you'll remember we covered in Section 1. Soft skills in a team organizational structure are critical to the effectiveness of a team. In interviews, recruiters look for evidence of these soft skills by listening to the way that you describe your experience. They are looking for evidence that you can work well with others, communicate effectively, think critically, and be adaptable to their organization's needs.
The third and final organizational structure we will discuss is called matrix. This type of organizational structure blends features from the other two structures. It's particularly common in the large-scale consulting, aerospace, and construction industries and in international enterprises. In matrix organizational structures, engineers with similar skills are placed in work units that report to a manager, who encourages employees to pursue their preferred area of expertise. When projects are assigned, a team of engineers will be put together from various work units based on specialized skills. Because you'll often be assigned to more than one project and you'll report to the manager of each project, you'll be responsible to more than one manager. Engineering recruiters who are only familiar with what we've called traditional and team organizational structures might have a difficult time understanding experience acquired in a matrix organizational structure. For example, if you're applying to a job where you know you'll be working in teams, you might describe your previous experience in a matrix organizational structure by the way your teams functioned on various projects. You'll talk about how you communicated, reached consensus, and contributed to the team's goals. Before we take a look at another type of organization, we want to reiterate that the three types of organizational structures we just described shouldn't be referenced in job interviews where recruiters won't know this terminology. The names we've assigned to these types of organizations is not what's important here. What is important is your ability to identify the differences between the types of organizations that exist and how you articulate your experiences at any one of them. In order to determine the structure of an organization, you will need to look for keywords or phrases in a job posting or on the website. For example, if a company mentions that a job requires a successful candidate to work with others, then that company is likely a team-based organization. Therefore, as an applicant, in addition to highlighting your technical skills, it will be important to highlight your ability to communicate effectively with others and share any past work experience where you have worked as part of a team. Let us now consider what your experience might look like at a small organization. Small organizations are quite different from large organizations. Small organizations tend to be more informal, which means that the organizational structures we just covered may bear little resemblance to how work is undertaken in a small organization.
Your role within any organization might evolve over time. Adaptability, initiative, and an ability to get along with coworkers and clients are often as important, if not more important, than technical skills and formal qualifications. You must promote these soft skills and relevant work experience to employers to help employers see that you can fit well within their organization. If your job application doesn't prove that you can adapt to a different type of organization, you may have less of a chance of getting hired. It doesn't matter if, for example, you're applying to a company that uses a traditional organizational structure when you only have experience in one of the other structures we've discussed. What matters is whether or not you can relate your relevant work experience and adapt to the new organization structure. Prove to the recruiter that you're able to do this, and your chances of getting hired should go up. It should be evident now why knowing the difference between organizational structures is important. It comes down to finding employment and increasing your chances of success.